Bhagavad Gita Bite-Size Learning, Episode 50, Sankhya Yoga, Shloka 30. Question: Who am I? In the last episode, we discussed that the soul is beyond human comprehension. Let me explain why. The soul is not an object of comprehension because it cannot be perceived by the sense organs. We cannot hear, touch, see, or feel the soul. We cannot explain the soul with the help of language, spoken or written. The soul can be perceived only by experiencing self. A very good example I've heard from Swami Sarvapriyananda is, imagine you are in a room which is pitch dark, even without a small ray of light. If someone asks you, "Hey, are you there?" would you say, "Wait, I will switch on the light to check if I am there," or "Let me ask someone to make sure that I am here"? It would be silly and ridiculous, isn't it? Similarly, to recognize the soul, we do not need the help of any external assurance. We are alive and experiencing life because of the reality of the soul within the prana force, which is allowing us to experience life and perform activities. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitumarhasi. O Arjuna, the soul that dwells within the body is immortal. Therefore, you should not mourn for anyone. The verse 30 is a kind of summary of the learning we have received till now. Dehi means the dweller, the soul, which is immortal, and only the physical body is mortal. So mourning is unnecessary is Krishna's message. When we apply this learning in a practical way, life becomes meaningful and easy. Let me explain with a few examples. We attach our mind to things, places, and people we come into contact with, and we cannot let go even when the situations are not congenial or relationships go sour. Imagine, an employer is troublesome, workplace is toxic, work is not to your liking. You suffer and struggle to manage a work day. You are not ready to move on or let go. Is it not? Fear of change or fear of loss makes you hold on to the job. A spouse is troublesome, arrogant, abusive. You stay in the relationship because you're afraid to move on. Reasons are umpteen. Children, society, parents, relatives. What will people say? How will I manage alone? And so on. You're struggling hard to complete a course which you took up not to displease your parents. You want to quit and do something which appeals you. You want to pursue a passion, but decision is not taken, sometimes never taken. When you are objective in your thought, fearless in your approach, and follow your inner calling, you will be sure of the decisions you take, is it not? You will be willing to embrace the challenges you might face due to the decisions you take, and due to which you will have no regrets in life. When a person is emotionally secure, independent in thought, has ethics, his peace of mind is assured and ensured. According to Bronnie Ware, who has written the book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, the regret which tops the list, which is number 1, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. This is a common regret expressed by many people in the fag end of their life. When they look back and see things clearly, being young and healthy brings freedom to perform actions, and many a times we do not realize this truth till we actually lose the opportunity of living our life the way we want our life to be. Life is one large experience where we stitch together multiple small experiences. Is it not? Sri Krishna wants Arjuna to understand this fact. that he needs to be fearless in his approach. He needs to stick to the decision which he has taken. He needs to enter the war ground with an objective approach. Even we are like Arjuna. We are caught in confusion many a times. We are contemplating whether we are doing the right thing or not, whether we need to move ahead with our decision which we have already taken or not. Is it not? Thank you for watching. Meet you soon.